having trying to get some technical stuff going. We're about to go live. We are live. So I'm going to shut this down. Make sure y'all get on the Zoom calls, which I'm sure you all are on. We're live in the Facebook. So sit back and enjoy this virtual tasting.
Yes, this is 18. Yeah, we're members there. I work for Slate Mill. Yeah. I used to work for Jen for any branch. Oh, should be OG next.
Just trying to get this slideshow play from current, play from start. All right. So welcome to the our latest virtual tasting. Sorry that we had some technical difficulties there. My name is Jake Bruce. I'm one of the founders with the Austin, Texas Wine Society. Today we have a special guest. We are doing the wine varietal series with Slate Mill Wine Collective, the 1851 Cabernet Sauvignon. So we have, I'm going to have Richard come in and kind of give us the little background and update about what region is coming in, food pairing and whatnot. So Richard, come on in.
And his story sharing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, hi guys. Richard Arvalo, one of the founders of the Austin, Texas Wine Society. I'm here to do just a little bit of presentation on the wine that we're having tonight. So it's, as Jake said, it's the Slate Mills Wine Collective out of Fredericksburg, but they source some of their grapes, obviously from the Texas Panhandle. And so it's the 1851 Cabernet Sauvignon, brought to you by the Wine Society. Check us out, AustinTexasWineSociety.com. These are our founders and our high table members. We've got two new, Ashley Farrell and Margaret Deal, are two new high table members that are going to help us out to bring these tastings and events in the coming year. Co-hosted by Wanderlust. That's where we're at right now. Where Sammy has helped us out with acquisition of the wine and this wonderful space that we've got here, and the Heel of the Boot food truck right next door. Our special wine celebrity guest is Kate Shelley, Director of Sales at Slate Mills. And we will be tasting this 2017 Texas High Plains Cabernet Sauvignon. Slate Mills is a wine collective, supports a diverse group of winemakers. The wine's grown throughout Texas with a single shared tasting room in Fredericksburg, Texas. Just a reminder of the Texas AVA. It's up near the Panhandle, the Texas High Plains, and a little bit more, it shows you it's around kind of like west and north of Lubbock, Plainview, those kinds of areas up there. And most of the vineyards are on flat terrain, but they also go from elevations from 3,000 to 4,000 feet. It is a drier, I mean, we live in Texas, it is drier, so that they do get irrigation from the aquifer of Gala aquifer. So Cabernet Sauvignon is actually the largest production in 2017 with 870 tons of production. We've been talking a lot about on these Zoom calls about the Texas Tempranillo, and Tempranillo being the grape of Texas, but by weight and size, the Cabernet Sauvignon actually is quite a bit more in production. Cabernet Sauvignon is one of the most well-known grapes, recognized varieties, and it grows in very, very diverse climates. It's a pretty tenacious grape. You can find it in Canada, you can find it in Lebanon, and obviously in North Texas it does pretty well. Most people know it from Bordeaux wines. It's the main grape of Bordeaux, where they blend it with Merlot and Cab Franc for some of the most expensive wines in the world. And interestingly, so on a couple of these Zoom calls, I've shown that some of the grapes that we've looked at, Tempranillos and things like that, were very old grapes. And Cabernet Sauvignon is actually relatively new. It was a cross, sort of a cross production of Cab Franc and Sauvignon Blanc in the 1600s. So it's not a particularly ancient grape, but it's an extremely popular grape these days. So the characteristics in Cabernet Sauvignons, you know, a lot of times you talk about black currant, which is you know, not a really popular or really common fruit in the United States. You can generally find it in jellies and things like that here. And it's a weird little thing about black currant is at the turn of the last century, it was a vector plant for a little bug that liked pine trees. And because pine trees were so important to the economy, they basically just banned the production or the growing of currant plants in the United States. And so when you've got, you know, 50, 60, 70 years of not having a particular plant, it tends to be not something that, that's very common. So you can get them in, you know, specialty grocery stores. And like I said, usually you're going to find it in jellies. But a lot of times when you talk about Cabernet Sauvignon, you talk about, there it is. Will you go back to here? All right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
there it is. There we go. All right, sorry about that. So in warmer climates, instead of black currant, you're going to see black cherry. You're going to be black olives. We actually found a Cabernet Sauvignon from Israel not too long ago, where it was pretty solid black olive. That was really a strange thing to find. As you get warmer climates, you'll get a little jamminess, not quite to the level of like a Zinfandel, but you know, you'll get a little sweetness. The 1851, it seems to vary. We had strawberry in the one last time, black cherry, leather, medium tannins, medium acidity, and the alcohol was actually just below 14%. It was like 3.7. For food pairings, again, it's a really versatile sort of meat type of wine. I mean, grilled lamb, brisket, short ribs, burgers, grilled portobello mushrooms work really, really well with Cabernet Sauvignons. Cheeses, but you want the full flavored ones like an aged cheddar. Gouda works really well. And just because of where we're at, heel of the boot here next door, we had focaccia pizza with tomatoes and onions and black olives, capers, and it went really, really well with this wine. The strawberry notes that we picked on the one last time actually worked really well with a salad that he did that had greens and strawberries and gorgonzola. So, you know, it's not a really, really strong Cab Sauvignon, which sometimes can just, you know, overpower food. This one works really, really well with a lot of things and works well with food. And there's the typical sources. And I'm going to hand it over to the lady herself and have her start talking about this wine.
Thank you. There it is. Where's the zoom? They go back. It's not this one. Oh, here it is. There it is. Woo! Perfect. Alrighty, y'all, as you can tell, we're having some technical difficulties today, but that's not stopping our drinking habits. Let's go. We got Kate, Shelley in the building today. We're trying the 1851 right here. Do a little plug. We got Jake in the back of the video right there. This is the wine of the day, y'all. Cabernet Sauvignon. So yeah, wanted to hand it over to Kate. Say what's up. And sorry, since we're using my computer, yeah, I might get a few phone calls here and there. So one of us is going to be bumping tonight. And for those that are not here today, every weekend we are trying to bring in very cool winemakers, wine guests. And we've also got the heel of the boot outside actually preparing a nice fancy dinner for us this evening. So you can buy tickets on site. But yeah, Kate, thank you so much for coming in. Your Jack, give you a chair here too. I'll squeeze in. We'll do a little panel. We gotta start doing these more in person, y'all. You know, it's we want to be sharing this physically with y'all. Of course, there's limitations with with how the world is today, but you know, there's wine at the end of the day, so that's good. But yeah, Kate, what's going on? What's
Happy to be here. It's a Saturday, sort of day off.
Yeah, I mean, you're pumping here with us, so it's you know, it's a pleasure and an honor for sure. Before we dive into the wine, I mean, I really, you know, for folks that are watching this, of course, you know, you come down to Wanderlust, come grab a bottle of some 1851. But before people learn more about the wine, I just wanted them to learn more about you as an amazing wine person here in Texas, and get people more excited to try local Texas wines. So
yeah,
how did it all start?
So I've been in the wine business for about roughly 13 or 14 years now. Really started in distribution for glazers in Ohio, and then won a trip to Napa through that and fell in love with it. So I packed up my car and moved out there 2 months later, and spent about 5.5 years out there with mainly vintage wine estates, but a couple of other small producers, doing everything from tasting room management to wine club management to event coordination. Was lucky enough to help out and make a little bit of wine as well. And then moved to Texas about 4 years ago. Never thought I'd work in Texas wine in my life, especially after I had tasted a few. Just being very honest, for those of you that know me, that's never a shortcoming. But William Chris had found me and asked me to start their distribution program. So started that from the ground up and got them into 5 states. And I've been with Slate Mill Wine Collective now since September of last year. And I am the director of sales. So I just touch everything that involves sales of wine.
Dang, that's amazing. Yeah, it's funny how the world of wine, you know, will take you around the world, and then for us, come back to Texas. But you're right. I mean, things have evolved. You know, when I first tried some Texas wines, I was like, man, this is not the definition of wine, but you know, we'll hopefully one day. And I think today is, or not today, but like now is the time that we're starting to see great, wonderful wines made in our state. So what was the wine that just really caught your eye and, you know, kind of changed your perspective on Texas terroir or Texas wine market?
Honestly, the Tannat really caught my eye. I wasn't really familiar with it before moving to Texas. I'd had it in blends, but never 100% Tannat, and was just completely blown away at the structure, the tannins, everything that comes with it. But there's been so many varietals that I've discovered that are usually found in blends in other states, and we can grow them here and put 100% of that varietal into one bottle. And it's pretty phenomenal. It's a great teaching tool as well, especially for people that are used to certain types of wines, or California wines, or their Italian wines. Like Cabernet does not taste the same as it does here from California. So I like to taste them side by side so people get to know, they can pick out the same characteristics of a Cabernet, but the body and a little bit of the style is a little unique to each state or wherever it's from.
For sure. We were tasting last night, and the one thing, the biggest difference between like a California cab and the Texas cab is like, you know, they say the California stuff is all in your face. It's bold. It's like, you know, and the tannins are huge. These tannins are actually not as big as you would find out in the California cab. And then, you know, we also kind of, you know, you talk about the terroir of the land, and you know, the funny thing is, as much Texas wine that we've been tasting and over the last couple weeks, you know, there's a distinct smell to the Texas wine, and you know, I'm sitting here smelling it, and I'm like, oh, we finally figured out if we would blind taste Texas wine, we could smell it and say like, oh, this is from Texas. And, you know, just by figuring that you know, with the cab, it was like, well, this still smells like, you know, the Texas Temprarillos that we've tasted, you know, all the Texas wine that we've tasted, and we've come to realize that that's the particular smell that, you know, comes from Texas. So, but yeah, tell us a little bit about 1851 and, you know, where basically they could get it, and just a little bit about, you know, where y'all located and the background on it.
Yeah. So we are in Fredericksburg. We're not on Main Street. We're on Highway 16. It's a little off the beaten path, but it is definitely worth it. It sits on 75 acres. We have 35 acres planted. It's called, originally was called 1851 because it started as a flour mill. Carl Gunther, who founded the property, had a flour mill there for the first 12 years. And it flooded out a couple times, so we moved it to San Antonio, where it still stands now, called Pioneer Flower. So a lot of Texans are familiar with that. You see it on your grocery store shelves. But it had been a couple things in between that and a winery. It was 1851 vineyards for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And then one of the investors, Randy Jones, the Jones family, bought it out 100% in July of last year. And we turned it into Slate Mill Wine Collective. A couple of reasons for that. It's a custom crush facility. We really want to help out any small producers, anybody who has a dream to be a winemaker and doesn't have the capital to back it up. You can come and make wine, or you can have us make wine for you. We can do custom labels, we can do a lot of that stuff. So, you know, it's all about the dream. It's not just about one brand, but we will always have that 1851 house brand to pay homage.
Gotcha. So is there a tasting room in the winery for anybody that's not been out there? You could go out there and taste wine and whatnot?
Yes. Yeah, we have a great tasting room. We have great patio as well outside. So not only is the 1851 brand sold there, but we do sell some of the brands that are made in-house. So currently we have Farmhouse Vineyards on the list. We have Dandy Rosé. Ray Wilson's a winemaker here in Austin. CL Buteau. So we're always changing up our tasting menu. So even if you're a wine club member, every 2 months or so, you're going to get some new wines to experience and try. So it's always something new.
So what's some of your main? Is this your main wine that y'all do? Do y'all just specify the cab, or do y'all do more Tempraneos? You know, what's kind of on y'all's menu of wines that y'all produce?
A little bit of everything. We got some great whites, Trebbiano. We do a live oak blend, which is usually has muscat, orange muscat this year. A little bit of Malvasia Bianca. We do a couple rosés. We only have one out right now, but we'll have 2 more coming out in the next couple months. And then the reds, we're kind of all over the place. We have a Barbera this year, Cabernet. Tempranillo we don't have right now, but we'll have hopefully next year. We don't have one specific varietal that we really like to hang our hat on. But we do hope to be a state here in the next 2 years. We have, again, 35 acres planted on that property, and then a couple other sister properties that equal out to just under 150 acres.
Gotcha. And so you mentioned something about rosé, and I know it's summertime. And you know, what's the different types of blends of rosé that y'all put out there?
Yeah. So the current one is a little bit of everything. We got some Cab, Melbeck, Tempranillo, little splash of Petit Verdot in there, and then next one we'll have a little bit more Cinsault. So it just depends on what we bring in each year. It's not like we'll have an exact blend that's going to have the same exact varietals every single year.
Gotcha. I think Richard's got some.
Just a quick question. So it says collective. So
Yes.
how does that exactly work?
Yes, so I briefly touched on that. So we don't only make our house brand 1851.
Right.
We are also a custom crush facility. So other winemakers can come in and make their wine at our facility. Or you
Okay, so
can
that's
hire
it.
us to make your wine for you.
Okay, so it's not like a bunch of owners own Slate Mill.
Correct.
Okay, so it's a little
one
different
family.
in that use of the word collective. Okay,
Yep.
all right, got it.
Yeah, we use it more because there's different brands that are sold in the tasting room and tasted at the same time.
Okay.
Good question.
So it looks like we got more people coming in. Like I said, we're trying to do these things virtual but face to face as well. But is there anything unique to y'all's brand, y'all's image that you'd like to tell everybody that something unique about it that makes y'all different from everybody else?
First and foremost, 100% Texas. So we only work with Texas fruit, and so do all of our producers. And the other thing is just the collective part. If you have a dream of making some wine, we really want to help these small guys make it happen. But it's not impossible. We have all of the equipment to help you out. We have a great seller team behind it as well. So.
Gotcha. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what is up with what does 1851 stand for? Is that like White Earp came in and made some wine that year, or, some Wild West stuff, or what's up with the 1851?
That would be awesome. Almost as cool. So Carl Gunther, who moved from Germany, moved to Fredericksburg and founded that property in 1851.
Really nice.
Yep, and his entire house, 3 buildings on the property that he hand built are still standing. So we're in the process of refurbishing those to hopefully get some tours around it as well. Lots of history.
And speaking of tours, how's that? You know, we've been shut down in the COVID-19, and it looks like we're coming out, but we don't really know because, you know, it's coming back. And so, you know, I know it's been dead down in Fredericksburg down there. I've been down there a couple times in the past two weeks. But how's the tourism and how's it, you know, out there right now? Is it back to being booming? Are y'all busy? And, you know, how's that going?
Yeah, so every winery is kind of doing their own thing. We kind of opened up with limited hours, say about 3 weeks ago now. And this past weekend, we did back to our normal hours. And we've definitely seen an increase in visitors, which is awesome. Who knows what's going to happen next week with everything that's going on. But yeah, we're open for regular hours, which is Thursday through Monday. So Thursday through Saturday is 11 to 6, and then Sunday and Monday is 12 to 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wanted to, you know, purchase this wine, do y'all offer memberships and, you know, membership clubs? If you could kind of go into a little bit about that and how they could get a hold of what type of memberships, what type of bottles they get, or, you know, how y'all go about doing that.
Yeah, we definitely have a wine club. And what is also pretty cool is you can buy all of the other brands that we sell in our tasting room as well, which is pretty cool. We have a 3, 6, and 12 bottle club, and you can look at that online. All the info is online. You can sign up online for the most part. You don't have to put in your credit card info. Somebody will call you for all that good stuff. But I highly recommend it. We ship 3 times a year, or you can come and pick it up and get a free tasting with it and all the good stuff that comes with most any wine club.
You still ship in the summertime?
We don't right now. So the last time we shipped was April, and then we'll ship again in September, October, depending on what.
Better idea.
Yeah, and then we send out emails and we'll let you know when it's coming.
Well, it's been, you know, we usually go about an hour on these videos, but that was when COVID-19 was hitting and we had nothing to do but sit there and drink in front of everybody. So we do have a lot of people here in the tasting room. We're going to end the live stream so we can kind of mingle and kind of share the wine that we have and kind of talk about it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, we're going to continue to do this type virtual stuff and continue to bring y'all different winemakers throughout Texas and throughout, you know, different regions of the world as well. So thank y'all again. Thank y'all for your support, and y'all have a blessed day. So
Cheers.
All right.